Start it off, Erin.
Ba-dum-bum.
Whoa, welcome back.
Man, it's been a while.
Yeah, we thought we were never going to do one of these again. Look at how we jumped right into it.
I know.
We have slacked off for a little bit, but we're naturals. Mm-hmm. I mean, we still got the momentum.
Yeah.
It's been about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
I know.
How many weeks has it been? We don't know. You know why? Because we're on quarantine.
What day is it?
Coronavirus. Coronavirus. Yeah, we've been isolated in this little house for months. How long? I mean, let's be honest. We kind of already lived this life.
I know.
We pretty much work from home and spend all our time together anyways. And I never leave the house unless I'm partying. But now there's no parties to go to. So it's been really sad. But also, I've been very productive.
It's been one long week.
It has been. It's like
there's no weekend now.
I don't even know what day it is. I do know it's Sunday because we made a promise that we were going to film episodes on Sunday every week from now on. Sundays are podcast day.
Yes.
So because we're doing a podcast, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's Sunday.
I know.
But by the time you guys are watching this, it won't be Sunday anymore.
Probably next Sunday.
Who knows? I feel like the people at home are probably really having a hard time adjusting to this life because we really are used to being like independent. We never go to work. We never have to do anything. But people out there, millions of people, this is like the first time in their life that they've spent weeks at home.
I know.
Just enjoying life or hating life.
Or bored as fuck.
I know. What do you bet? You think they're bored as fuck? You think they're miserable? You think they're fighting?
It's 50-50.
Or happy? I think so too.
50-50.
I think half the families are like, this is great. We can have the kids over. We can have the family over. We can all just bond. Because I hear other neighbors in the neighborhood. They're just having cookouts every day.
Kids outside laughing and screaming.
There's a bunch of cars. I mean, I think it's over 10 people at some of these places. But, you know, we won't rat them out. They're having fun and vibing. As long as
they don't rat us out.
Yeah. We did have a bit of a party. I guess we'll get into that. But, yeah, I hear all the families are, having a nice, like, let's all hang out and, this is the point of life. Let's all just bond and have a great time. And I feel like there's a lot of families that we don't know of that are miserable and their kids are trapped and their family is abusive.
But like in my mom's neighborhood, there's a lot of families out there. Everybody is riding bikes. Everybody's outside.
Yeah, the good families.
Yeah, all the families are sitting outside. Their kids are playing with chalk out in the streets. Or not in the streets, but like in their driveways and stuff.
I come from the streets. I've been
nice.
Sidewalk chalking since before you kids were born.
It's like, man, chalk. Who's used chalk in a long ass time? It's everywhere now.
It is strange seeing how many bikers do ride their bikes by.
Yeah.
And just like, I'll go walk to the gas station to like pick something up and just seeing everybody who's walking out. And I used to walk everywhere anyways because I always just kind of walk places. I've never seen that. Like anytime you see somebody walking, they're like poor or going to the bus or going to work. And it's like, they don't have a car or whatever. It's usually like a desperate situation. And I'm always like, oh, it's just a nice chill walk,
Yeah.
Now you go out, people walking everywhere. Everybody's just chilling. People are just hanging out on all the
bus
bikes
stops. Are sold out from Walmart.
Yeah. I hear the gaming systems are bought out too.
Oh, I know.
Like lots of these things, the boredom things.
Yeah. When I was trying to find one, there were prices that were really cheap. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get one of these. They were all sold out. So I had to get them.
I know. I gave you shit for like, why did you order? We ordered a Nickelodeon. I was like a Nick Switch, a Nintendo Switch. So we could play Zelda because fuck it. What else do we have to do? There's no bars anymore. And that's the only fun thing I like to do with my free time. And so you got the Nintendo Switch and we got Zelda and you ordered it off Amazon. It just took like weeks to get here. And I was like, what did you do? Order like the worst discount knockoff version of Nintendo Switch? They were all sold out.
I know.
They were all sold out. Yeah. And now it's like all gaming systems are sold out. And Amazon takes forever to ship anyways because everybody's ordering off Amazon.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you got it when you did.
I know.
Otherwise, we'd be going super crazy. And instead, we're having a great time. I think we're actually getting along way better than we ever have.
Me too.
And I mean, we get along good. We do get along good. But I'm very like, okay.
You have FOMO.
I need to go party.
Yeah.
I need to go meet some people.
Yeah.
I want to go talk and be the life of the party. And as much as I love you, Erin, I'm just sitting in the house and I need to go talk to other humans. But now, for some reason, it's totally fine.
You're so sweet and loving now.
I am. I'm like, we haven't had a single fight. We haven't even been frustrated.
No.
This whole quarantine, it's been almost 2 months. Nothing. Because I'm just like, There's nothing to do. I'm chilling here anyways. I know. She's like,
I'm going to start the next pandemic.
She started this just so she could get some quality time with Nick. It is so funny how much like just knowing that nobody else is doing things makes it so much easier for me to like not care about doing things. And I'm doing a lot. I mean, I'm being very productive with this time.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you guys out there who are all just chilling and watching Netflix and just hanging out because, fuck it, we don't got shit to do. Why don't you start doing something productive? You know, all those businesses you thought you were going to start, but you couldn't do it because you had too much work to do. Well, what are you doing now? Are you just watching Netflix? I bet you're just watching Netflix. Me, on the other hand, I'm getting very productive. I've been very busy. But
I'm very productive around the house.
That's true. You got a lot of I feel like a lot of people are doing that, like repainting, upkeep, gardening, all of that. You know, woman's work.
And men too.
No, just women. Nick, you're being a misogynist again. This is on theme to anybody watching from TikTok. Hi, everybody from TikTok. And hi, everybody else who's not on my TikTok. Please go follow me on TikTok unless you don't understand my sarcasm, in which case do not follow me on TikTok.
Unless you don't like humor.
Yeah, because you are going to be very mad at me, just like everybody. Which that's what I've been doing this whole quarantine. I've been TikToking a lot.
How many followers do you have now?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Erin, because the last time we did a podcast, it was weeks ago, months ago. And remember, I was like shadow banned and I was really like trying to get to 10,000. And then we came back and I was at 40,000 or almost 40,000. And I was like, woo, I'm big time. Guess where I am now?
Where?
77,000.
Shit.
Yeah. Almost double that 40,000.
That's awesome.
But I actually slipped down a little bit. So if you check my numbers, it's actually like 76 point something thousand because I got shadow banned again. And I just lost followers for 2 weeks because
you always get shadow banned.
I know it's going to happen. But yes, I've been very productive. I've been putting out a lot of content and I feel like I leveled up on the TikTok ladder because I went from like, I was getting views and I was getting follows, but people were like, you know, they didn't know me. And now people know me. I like leveled up to where like people know me. They're talking about me all over the app. You all know this Nick Foster jokes, guys. I'm sure you've all seen him by now. Well, let me tell you how much of an asshole he is. Like the amount of people posting videos like that. It's so funny. I love it.
Funny.
It's crazy. And I'm like, damn. And I was talking about this before, like the amount of hate I got on the last time we talked about it from whatever the last hate wave was. Who even knows at this point? Lizzo, trannies, fat people, women, I don't know. The amount of hate that I got when I was at those lower levels, not even 10,000 people. Well, now you can imagine it's multiplied by an extreme amount, the amount of haters that I get. And I'm just like, damn, and I'm still not at 100,000. What do you do when you have 1 million people? This is like pure hatred and love. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people like me and, you know, they like me, Erin. They like me. Please. Do you like me? Please.
Validate me.
I need the validation. That's what I'm doing it for. My shit's blowing up right now. Actually, I got to put it down. Look how big I am. I'm like, I can't even have my phone up because it's just like blowing up with notifications.
Your followers are not followers, but your haters are now coming over and finding me too. They did that the last time,
which we did talk about, but now you can tell this is just our life now. I'm sorry, Erin. I mean, you dated up, you know, you got yourself a dude on the rise, I guess, who's going places, but you didn't know that you were going to have to endure hundreds of hateful DMs
that
for no reason.
Have to lock down my Instagram.
Yeah, you guys are bullies out there.
Like that's how I get followers, is just having it open and
well, now they actually have to follow you just to like creep on you.
Yes, but also I don't know who to add and who not to add.
That was my problem too when I was getting all these haters coming to my Instagram. And obviously, I don't care about the haters. Bring it on. I love it. Flood my Instagram. Go read my Instagram comments on my last couple posts. And it's like, Nick got 80 likes on this picture. Comments, 450. And it's all, fuck you. I hate you. You're a piece of shit. It's like, damn. At first, I was like, okay, I got to figure out a way. It's not like I care about them coming to my Instagram because everybody who knows me on Instagram knows I'm a troll and knows I'm a ridiculous person anyways. Anybody who reads it is going to be like, what are they talking about? But also, yeah, that makes sense. And so at first I was like kind of trying to regulate it and be, you know, there's all these people who come who have like 0 pictures, 0 followers, and they're just, they don't even have a picture and they just write this hateful shit. And I'm like, look, I don't care if you write hateful shit, but you have to earn it. If you don't even have a picture or a profile or a single follower, I'm deleting you and blocking you. I don't care. But when somebody comes and they got, followers and they actually have pictures and they're like a real person, they could say the same hateful shit and I'll let it stay. I don't care about that. But yeah, where was I going? The amount of people that just like flood that. At first I was trying to like regulate it and be like, okay, well, I have to at least somehow give context to what's going on in my comments based on the picture. So I just inevitably, at first I locked down my thing and I was like, I can't deal with all this right now. I was dealing with too much on TikTok and I hadn't even checked my Instagram for a while. So I was just getting all these comments building up and I was like, okay, I'm going to lock down the profile for a little while and I'll figure out what to do and then I'll do it. And then at a certain point I was trying to do what you're doing, where it's like you're trying to like let some people follow you, and then if this person doesn't,
the ones who have pictures, you
have no idea. But for me it's like I have no clue, because I started being like, if it's a woman they hate me and if it's a man they love me, which is not even true, because a lot of the men were hating me.
It's so sad too, because I was like being kind of sexist as well, because I was like, okay, guys, I know you won't hate on my stuff, but the girls, I was like, I don't want you coming on here and just talking shit about me.
That's what the girls do.
Like, what the fuck?
Because these women, they're teenage girls.
No, I know, because they're the ones who are sending me DMs that are just saying like such hateful shit. And
while
like,
crying as though I'm a bully when I've never said anything to them or about them.
And they're like fighting for women's rights, and then they're coming and finding me.
And just bringing you down. Personal shit.
Yes.
Which is just like, that's
that
life.
Blows my mind.
Exactly. It's so
How
fun.
sad are you?
And this is what I'm going to end up doing. Eventually, my content is already evolving into like self-referential.
Rise women up.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, power to the women over here.
I actually am lifting women up, just in a very strange way. But my message is very pro-women, but they don't see it that way because of just the way I do it. It's a long story. We'll get into that. But yeah, they are such little bullies, man. They're such bullies. Whatever. The point is, that comes with the territory. You can see that there's no way I'm ever going to climb up higher without just, and it's not just me. I know I'm provocative. I put out jokes. I put out satire that's meant to provoke you, meant to kind of rile you up and get you angry. You shouldn't be angry if you think about it, but I understand that people will at first glance get riled up. That's how I design it. Exactly. God, I'm blanking, man. My brain is not working. It has been a little while since we did this. I'm posting this content that's very like meant to, stir things up, but it's starting to evolve into like realizing that now that I see the behind the scenes of what an influencer deals with, because like I said, my stuff is provocative, but a lot of influencers are just very positive people who don't put out provocative things like me. They're not trying to troll. They're not trying to rile you up. And even people who are just like, hey, everybody, I love you. Have a great day. I hope you succeed at all your dreams. Those types of influencers, they have to deal with all these haters too, even when you just put out pure positivity, because it's just the numbers game. I've seen other creators on the app posting their behind the scenes DMs, and these are people who are the complete opposite of me, like some feminist who hates men, and I'm making all this content that's like making fun of their shit, but they're posting the hate that they get from men, and it's identical to the hate that I'm getting from women, just opposite. It's like men are saying you're ugly and fuck you, and the women are telling me you're an incel and a piece of shit. I hope you die. Yeah, it's the same fucking shit. Both sides, it's equal. And so now that I'm in this whole battlefield, I'm going to start making a lot of content that points this out, because I think I'm in a unique position. And a lot of people don't know like how much hate you have to endure to really put yourself out there and grow at all as a content creator. And whether you're negative or positive, you're going to deal with it. So at least I'm in a position where I can just enjoy it and have fun with it, because my content thrives off the haters, you know? It actually fuels my content and gets me more views. Make sure our time is good. It's been so long. I'm like out of practice. I got to make sure. Did I record everything?
I know.
Yeah. So it's a fascinating thing. And I just realized like I'm getting to this new level. It doesn't seem like that much when you're at, 70,000 is a lot of people. It actually is a lot, but you don't think of that as some like big influencer type. And I'm just like already learning the ropes, so that way I'm ready when I have 1 million, you know, because it's going to be this times 1,000, and you just have to never back down and always just just keep having fun and keep it moving forward.
You're really good at that, though.
Yeah, my content thrives off that. So that's kind of what happened was.
And I think you just have the overall personality and like the tough skin and all of that too.
That's true.
Not let anything
even if it did get to me, Erin, it just doesn't. It doesn't get to me.
Only Craig behind closed doors.
I just don't show anybody. Okay. No, you know what I do behind the scenes. I'm literally laughing to you and like, look at this comment. Look at this duet. Like somebody does a duet of me and it's like ripping me to shreds or something.
Yeah.
And I literally
show me all of those.
I laugh at them and I'm just like, wow, I really got into this person's skin. I'm so proud of myself. And they're thinking like, I showed him, took him down. It's like, no, you didn't. You got me 10,000 more followers.
Exactly,
that's what you did.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening is I'm thriving off all these haters and I just troll them up and then they come to my page. They leave hundreds of comments, which just boosts me up even more. And then they duet me and share me. A duet on TikTok is where they basically make a video where they're responding to my video and it shares both our videos side by side. And they'll share it out to their 10,000, 200,000, whatever, everything in between followers because they think they're trying to cancel me and take me down.
Don't watch him.
Whatever you guys do, don't give him attention or clout. While they shared me with 200,000 people. I literally gained 25,000 people in like a day and a half on that last hate wave.
Yeah.
And then I got shadow banned. So then I kind of stopped for 2 weeks. I just got off shadow ban. So give it time. By the time you guys see this, maybe I'll already be at 1 million. Probably not. But it's just it's so fascinating the amount of people who don't realize like they're helping you while they're trying to like stop you.
I know.
It's like, just ignore me and move on. That's the best thing you can do.
I think people were commenting on there too, like, you just showed me my favorite new TikToker.
I know.
Like,
yeah, there was one duet. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I have to go through them. And I'm trying to figure out content that I can make off that because I'm still kind of sticking to my own thing. I like to be in control of my own narrative, you know? But there's so many people that I could just make jokes off of. And I'm just like trying not to get personal yet, where it's like, oh, I'm shouting out this person. And like, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be boosting them up because I have clout now. And if I share them just to make a joke off them, I'm actually helping them too. So I might not even do that. It's like, you got to earn my clout, yo. You can spread me everywhere. But anyway, so they come and they just they hate on everything I do. And then they try to get me to like be canceled, but they just share me to everybody. So I thrive off that and I go off that. So yeah, somebody did the duets and it's like, you guys all know this Nick Foster guy and just don't listen to anything that comes out of his mouth. Like, don't listen to it. It's not even worth the breath that it took to make those sound, like something like that. And I'm literally going through the comments and it's all people being like, bro, it's just a joke. Actually, yo, I just looked at his content. He's pretty funny. Hey, thanks for showing me my new favorite TikToker. Hey, man, maybe you should take your own advice and delete your account. It's just like they're just trolling him and they're coming over and they're following me. And I'm like, Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, random dude who has no sense of humor. Thank you. It's so funny. I was talking about this because I've been going live a lot on the on TikTok, you know, where I do a live stream. And I was talking about it the other night, how we always know in hindsight when you talk about Kim Kardashian or that Catch Me Outside girl or whoever, where people are like, stop making terrible, stupid people famous. First off, I'm not terrible or stupid, but you might be on the fence about the terrible part, but I'm not stupid. Maybe I am. Who knows? But I think I'm pretty smart. And people will say, stop making these people famous. Ignore them. Don't do this. And we all know, like, you guys, we made Kim Kardashian famous by paying attention. We made that Catch Me Outside girl famous.
She's the one more that I'm like, holy shit.
I know. Kim Kardashian kind of deserves it. Her whole family is a brilliant family when it comes to marketing. However, it's us giving them that power by paying attention. Attention is power in today's society. It's money for all the social networks. It's for media and politics. It's if you can get people's attention. Donald Trump knew how to rile up attention and get it on him and use it to his advantage, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
And I'm good at that, you know, and I'm learning how to do that on the social media stage. But they don't just ignore. And it's like they don't realize. So they're coming in and they're hating on me. They're coming in my live streams. They're coming in my Instagram and all my comments and saying, you need to be canceled. You're a piece of shit. Take this down, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you are literally making me famous. And in 6 months from now, when I'm a big name on there and you guys just hate me, you're going to be thinking, why is this guy famous? It's because of you. You are my biggest supporter and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And I'm literally telling them that on live. I'm like, guys, just ignore me. Just block me. And I will never pop up in your feed.
Yeah.
And I will literally never be able to build clout. And
I can't do that.
They can't do it. They cannot bring themselves to block me because they love it. They love the drama. They love getting angry. And I love it. You know?
They love to hate you.
So I'm realizing we're like an organism, like a symbiotic relationship organism where it's like we live off each other. I need the haters and the haters need me and they feed me and vice versa. And we're going to have this nice symbiotic relationship. And I'm just going to do this all the time where I just stir it up, get all these haters and they're going to feed me. And then it's like, I'm a troll. Don't feed the trolls. That's number one rule. But they do. It's crazy. It's fascinating. So it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing a lot of. Like, it takes a lot of work to kind of keep on top of all of this. And I'm doing it full time. You know, I'm really dedicated. That's why we're falling behind on the podcast, amongst other things, which I guess we'll get into. But yeah, it's definitely super fascinating.
Other things.
Yeah, it's that time. So we'll get into other things in a minute. Okay, so we're gonna do a commercial break and we're gonna be right back and continue on.
Can I fill this up?
Yeah.
All right.
Bye. Bye. Not bye. We'll be right back. And we're back.
It's gonna what?
What'd you say, Erin?
I was gonna get.
Erin, do you remember how to talk? You fumbled over your words there a little bit. I know we've been off air for, way too long.
I know.
What's up with that? Are we going to stick to this every week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to do it when we first got on quarantine because I had so much to talk about being in quarantine and my thoughts and this or that. But you were too busy with TikTok.
Yeah.
And so it was just
I do take the blame.
And then you were like, okay, let's do the podcast. And I was like, well, now I'm like too into like chilling and in the zone of like around the house and everything that I don't want to do it.
No, I know. It's been hard to like pin it down, but we're back on it.
Now it's been the third,
It's kind of ironic too, because we were doing it pretty like seriously. I mean, we are still doing it seriously. It's just we took a little break, but we were on it when we were having a normal life. And then when you go onto quarantine, you think that's the time where like, oh, we could podcast every day. Like we have nothing but free time now. There's no distractions. And it actually made it much harder. Yeah. Because we had so many other things going on. And for the first couple of weeks, we didn't know what was going on. We were worried about like getting food. I mean, this quarantine is like the last time we did a podcast, we didn't even know this was going to be a thing. We didn't even know about the coronavirus. I mean, we heard about it, but we weren't taking it seriously.
I was actually looking when we first heard about it, and then you were kind of talking about like maybe we should stock up on food a little bit. Just
I
like
was
2
telling
weeks or
you
whatever.
as it was coming.
Yeah, and so I like asked my mom, and
she blew it off, right?
Yeah, she was like, "Oh no, it'll be fine." I was like, "But I feel like I should." No. And then she like talks to a neighbor, and she's like, "Well, maybe you should give me 2 weeks worth of food." And I was like, "Oh yeah."
Doesn't take you seriously, but takes the neighbor seriously.
But anyways, and then I was looking actually into masks then because I was like, we should buy masks now. And I was looking for the ones that had like the filters and everything, to like breathe clean air.
The Snapchat dog filter so I can look cute.
For sure.
Woof. Like girls do.
But I never bought it because I was like, oh no. And now everybody's wearing face masks and shit.
Yeah. But it's not like we're really going anywhere. So
I am grocery stores.
Yeah, I know you're going to be the one infecting me.
Yeah, everybody wears face masks pretty much at grocery stores.
I have been in quarantine and I actually haven't left the house. But
I've asked you to go to the grocery store and you're like, no.
I'm in quarantine. I don't germs. No, Erin, I totally would go do those chores in that grocery shopping, which I already hate doing. I would totally do it, but I'm in quarantine. I don't want to get corona. I'm thinking about you. Yeah, okay. I don't want to get you sick. Erin, it's a selfless act.
Oh, so selfless.
You should go and get it and then bring it home and infect me so I can guilt trip you if I get coronavirus.
Scrub yourself outside.
Yeah, hose yourself down. It's so true. Dude, shopping sucks already. And just once it all started getting crazy and I saw all the lines and how many people were like struggling just to get into the grocery stores, I was like, I'm not going shopping.
I haven't seen that here.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's because you go to the Mexican store.
What?
Yeah. The Spanish grocery store.
I don't.
Isn't it?
No,
I thought it was a Spanish.
It is.
I know it's not Mexican, but it's, you know what I mean? It's mostly.
I do not shop there. I only shop there sometimes because it's close, but not during this. It's like I usually go to Publix down in South Tampa.
I mean, it's not busy?
No.
Oh.
Not really.
Do
Not
they
the
have
time that I go.
Do they have things on their shelf?
Ish.
Oh.
Ish.
Is
It
there
really
toilet
depends what you
paper?
want. No.
Oh.
There has not been toilet paper at all. And
Well,
like I don't
good thing I don't even wipe, so it's all good.
I don't really go there.
She's just like, okay, is that true? We'll address that later.
You have to. There's no toilet paper sometimes when I go in there. I know you wipe.
I just jump in the
unless
shower.
you just like dab.
I just jump in the shower. And
your junk.
I try to save the environment by not flushing, and I don't even poop in the toilet. I just poop in the shower.
Ew.
It's amazing how much water you can save doing that.
Oh my god.
No toilet paper needed. Save the trees.
I pee in the
save the
shower.
water. Saves time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yep. Skip
If I
over
sit
that.
down, if I sit down on the toilet, I'm going to be on TikTok for 4 hours.
Yeah.
The problem.
Yep.
Okay, I guess the last episode was also after Gasparilla. That was like the shitty episode. So I guess we shouldn't make 2 episodes where we talk about.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we'll skip on.
So, anyways, kind of going back to like the quarantine and stuff. And you were talking about, okay, so the families.
Yeah,
We were kind of
I
talking
do
about
want to
that
get into
too.
that about your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So there's the good side of it where kids will forever remember this as like the best time of their life. You're out of school right now. You are just like, hopefully you like your family and you're hanging out with them. Like that's
I disagree.
cool.
I see what you're saying, but I feel like kids, for the most part, are probably unhappy with this. Everybody, obviously, I know what the kids are up to because I'm
I
on
read
TikTok.
some Reddit threads that were saying like really good things. Some of them. The
I see
other
what you mean.
some were like not
I think
good.
that is what you said earlier. It's half and half. I think almost any of these like ideas that we're playing with or like trying to think how it is
Those
for
are the
other people.
happy thought
It is.
ones.
Yeah. It's probably half and half.
Because I've been
Horrible.
thinking also a lot of awful thoughts about like the kids that get abused and like all
Well,
these
yeah,
things.
there's that, and I want to get into that, but also like kids who are about to graduate, kids that were
I
going to
know.
prom, homecoming, spring break, all these
Yeah.
things that are important life events when you're that age. Trust me,
You
they're
just
not.
turned 21 or something.
They're not
It's-
important when you're 30. However, you think they're so important then,
Yeah.
and they're going miserable. They're like, "What? I
Okay.
want my prom."
That trend
Fuck
that's
your
going
prom.
on right now about the graduates and everybody is posting their pictures from when they graduated to like help the graduates that are like missing their graduation
Rub
right
it
now.
in. That's what it is.
Oh my God.
It's
pretty
like,
much.
hey, check out what you're missing. We want to make you feel better. And everybody's just like, I wanted those pictures.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're making this better. Look at my stuff. It's like, what?
That's how it is. I mean, that's how I felt about that. What was the celebrity song where they're like, imagine all the people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just some rich celebrities from their mansions being like, we're all in this together, guys. Let's sing Imagine and everybody's going to feel better. And there's like people who are literally like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for food or how I'm going to pay for rent. And my kids are home and there's no daycares and
Yeah.
I'm going crazy and I don't know what to do. And I don't know how I'm going to feed them, and I don't know what to do. Like we have no information. Even
Yeah.
still, there's no checks. We're supposed to get our stimulus check. Did everybody get their stimulus check? Because I didn't.
Yeah.
Did you?
Not yet.
You at least got on the site, and it was like, hey, you're going to get this. Put in your direct deposit.
Yeah.
I go on there, and I'm like, boop, boop, boop. Payment status unavailable. Okay. Any
God.
information? No, just unavailable.
That
Am I going to
sucks.
get it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Lucky for me, I don't really give a shit. It's free money to me. If I get that check, I'm just going to spend it and invest it or buy clothes or do something. I don't know. Buy a lot of Uber Eats. I don't really need it, but I could use it for sure. But think of a family who's like, I literally just missed rent. I got to pay for food. I'm scrounging change or whatever I have. I'm pulling out all my investments. Who knows what people have to do out there? It's crazy.
You were just talking about how like landlords and how they're going to make you still pay rent and all of these things and stuff. And I just saw a video of some city in Florida that the power companies were turning off people's powers because they weren't paying.
Yeah.
That blows my fucking mind.
Why? This is this is what I'm trying to get you to be realistic about, because
so
I talk.
wrong.
How many times have I come and talked to you about this coronavirus coming, where I was like, society is going to get crazy, people are going to get under pressure, things could really fall apart very quickly, and it's the people under pressure that is what you need to worry about. And I'm talking about how all the businesses shut down, everything stops, the whole economy stops, and you're over here like, it'll all come back.
It's because money is fake.
That's not how it works.
Money is fake. Why can't we not just put a pause on everything?
I see
Who
what
do
you're
we
saying.
owe money to? The landlords. Who do the
Because
landlords owe money to? The government
else.
or the
Yes,
bank?
I
Why
agree.
do they need the money?
I agree.
Why can't we just be like,
In a utopia.
it's okay?
But what I'm saying is
Only for the people who actually need it.
Because
if you can pay
in the
for
real
it,
world,
pay.
in the real world, the homeowner or the renter needs to pay their rent to the landlord, and they're like, I need to provide for my family, I can't pay you rent. And the landlord is saying, well, your rent is my income and I need to feed my family. And it goes all the way up the chain where everybody owes somebody money, and unless everybody gets together and agrees we're not doing it, it doesn't work. That's what money is anyways, is money is fake. Money is all of people coming together and agreeing money is worth
right
this.
now to just like pause.
But we are, to an extent. They're doing it as best they can. But even if the government says you don't get to enforce your mortgage payments, you don't get to evict people, that doesn't mean the landlord isn't going to just throw your shit out. It means you could go sue them, and good luck fighting them in court.
I actually heard one of my mom's friends and stuff, they were saying that their landlord was saying that you don't have to pay right now.
But when you're done,
because they were saying it till like June or July or something like that. But once July hits, you owe us 3 months
exactly.
rent.
So there's all these deferred, all the bills have stopped, and then when they turn the power back on, oh, guess what? You have to pay 3 months of missed power bills. Oh, you missed your rent? No problem. No problem. Stay there for 3 months. And I know you're not working these 3 months and you're not getting any money. And when the 3 months are over, guess what? You owe me those 3 months.
I know.
And what's going to happen then? And evictions are back on the table, and
insane.
Everybody gets thrown out.
So
and nobody knows what's happening.
What they should do is like just extend it to 3 months. You stay there for an extra amount of time, or like some shit, or like once you're done at the end of your lease, then you owe the next 3 months or something like that. Then you owe a little more or something.
No, what is going to happen?
Because you still get paid the same amount no matter what when you go back to work.
Yeah.
You can't even afford that shit.
That's the other thing that you don't accept as a reality is most of these people are never going back to work. You don't, just because the jobs shut down and then everything opens back up, those people don't just go back to work. Restaurants go bankrupt. Industries go bankrupt. People get laid off and furloughed, and those jobs are never refilled, or they're refilled by cheaper, younger people that they can get who they can pay half the pay to.
Yeah.
These jobs don't just magically open back up. Some people will get their jobs back, but a lot of people are starting over. It doesn't just get back on track. The world is going to be different. The country's going to be different for a while. And who even knows when this is going to end? Because it's not even close to a vaccine for 18 months.
I know.
And this thing is evolving and changing and morphing, and people are going to get reinfected and people are going to die. And the only way to keep people from dying is to keep everybody inside and keep the economy shut down. And that creates a whole bunch of other problems that you can't even quantify. Because people are under pressure, kids are being abused, people are breaking, falling back into drugs and alcohol, beating or murdering their wives, whatever it is. There's got to be chaos happening. And those people, like the kids, I think about those kids. I think about the kids who are in a broken home who at least could go to school for 8 hours a day and have warm meals and have friends and maybe a teacher who cares about them.
Yeah.
And now they're stuck where they might be getting beat at home and nobody even knows because they never show up to school. Nobody's checking in on them. Nobody knows what's going on unless a teacher sees them with marks on them. Who's going to intervene?
Yeah.
Nobody. And that's just one example. Who knows how many people are going through a horrible time right now? And the cops are spread thin because they're enforcing all these other laws. They're focused on kicking people out of places or, who knows? I don't know. I don't even know what's going on out there.
They are keeping people off the beach.
Yeah, they're busy. They're busy saying, yo, don't cough on the sand. I know they're doing more than that. My point is there's a lot of moving parts to society that are all impeded right now, and that creates pressures for everybody,
Yeah.
And there's just no way to know what's going on because when society is moving, there's always kind of somebody who knows where, like, you didn't show up to work today, or you didn't show up to school today. What's going on? Let's send somebody to check on you. None of that's going on, right?
I know.
And just, who knows? And you don't know, because we're not leaving our house, so we're not engaging with other people, and we don't know, like, what is life like for normal people? Like, we're normal people, but we live like this.
With schools, was there like a specific day where they knew, or like did people know coming up that this was going to be the last day?
No.
Or all of a sudden did they just go away for a weekend and they were just like, we're done?
Well, I'm not totally sure how it went down, but I would imagine it, because of the way the whole coronavirus came, because I was watching it early.
Yeah.
I was not super early, because I was talking to Steve out in Vegas, my roommate, friend, you guys, whatever, you'll figure it out. He was very on top of it, and he was kind of telling me like, yo, have you been checking up on this? And this was like back in January. And I'm like, yo, I'm spread too thin with a lot of news going on and a lot of what I'm doing on social media. I'll check into it as it gets more serious, because I wasn't even taking it serious. I was like, there's a pandemic that comes out of China every 5 years. Like, I've seen this tons of times, and I'm not going to freak out. I'm not a germaphobe. I'm not a person who freaks out until it's like serious. But he was taking it seriously and getting the ball moving out of Vegas. And he was letting me know. And then it started coming more and more. And then I started being like, oh, this is starting to get crazy. They're talking about shutting things down. They're talking about this. And I started looking into it. It started getting more intense. I started talking to you and I came to you before any of this happened. And I was like, Erin, I think we really should go ahead and plan to like start stocking up on things, because I think this is going to come down. And you were like, no, this isn't going to happen. And then it was like a week later or 2 weeks later, it was like, we're shutting everything down. So I would imagine the schools were a similar thing, where they were like not taking it seriously. And then right at the last minute, it might be like, yo, it's Thursday. You guys can come to school Friday, but after Friday, Monday, there's no more school.
Yeah, and why I brought that up was because, like, I feel like a lot of teachers who know that kids are being abused, or not know, but like something, I
see
don't
what
know.
you mean.
Like, if I was a teacher and I saw a kid, like, I
small
would check
minority
up
will,
on them.
But most will.
But I would want to make
cracks.
sure that I had their information beforehand.
No.
And that's why it was abruptly on a Friday, and then the weekend happens and I never see that kid again. I'm like, I should have got his information. Or,
but it's not just kids. Like how we were talking earlier about our relationship is great, and we're having such a great time here, and we're having a blast. We're hanging out, we're playing video games, we're
Frisbee?
banging it out. We're banging it out every day, every other day, every 5 days when I'm not on TikTok. Who knows?
Every 3 weeks.
But it's a solid bang out. Okay, so my point is we're very in tune with each other. At least you're right. It probably is every 3 weeks. Look, guys, I'm a busy person. Okay, I know she's hot, but come on.
Jesus Christ.
But we played Frisbee out in the yard, because I was like, when have I ever just been like, let me put down this and go?
Never.
Exactly.
This has been the best weeks of my life.
We did the camping in the backyard. We set up a tent.
We did that before.
We talked about before, but we did it again.
Yeah.
We're just having good.
This has been amazing.
You see how happy she is? We are having true quality time together, for sure.
Oh, the little cursors on my nose.
Oh, what do you know? Your blackface? You're racist.
Anyways.
Hey, TikTok, check that. Long story. I'll fill you guys in on the whole TikTok drama. We talked a little bit about the surface, but the details. Anyways, no, we've had a great time.
Yeah.
But think of those relationships. And most relationships are not like ours. Most relationships are terrible, are dependent, are jealous, are filled with drama. You know, that's most relationships. Those people at least have hours apart from each other at work, at school, whatever it is they're doing. And now they're all stuck in their house. They can't go anywhere. Those relationships have got to be so abusive and so just depressing, and you're just stuck, you know? So
if you're in an apartment, like a little apartment too, or something.
Oh yeah, and think about people, like we have a yard.
I know.
We can just chill in the yard and we're like relaxing, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
There's people who straight up, because I'm seeing like even content on TikTok where people are just, I've never even imagined that I would be so thrilled to have a patio.
Yeah.
The ability to just sit outside a little bit.
I don't know,
yeah, just like a little tiny thing. And there's so many people in this country that don't even have that.
Yeah.
Or they're in a shithole apartment where like you sit on your patio and it's like surrounded by shit and violence or abuse or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So the amount of pressure people must be under that they can't even leave and there's nowhere to go, or loneliness. Like I'm a very social person, obviously. At least I have an outlet on social media. I can go live and I have a bunch of people I can talk to. I know. And it really is helping me because I probably would be going more crazy if I didn't have that.
For sure, I know.
Yeah, you were telling me that before. Like, I'm so glad that you have this outlet because I need to talk.
You'd be going fucking nuts.
I know. I'd be like, Erin, I love you, but I need to talk about some things. That's my therapy, I don't need a therapist. I just need people. If I just have people to talk to, I am at peace. I find my way through life. Mm-hmm. It's my way of dealing with everything.
Yeah.
But people who their whole social life was like working at a bar or something, and now all the bars are shut down. They have no friends. They have the bartenders are probably fine. They got a bunch of friends, but you know what I mean? There's like people who are in jobs who straight up have no social life, no place to go. There's no place to go. They're single. They're lonely.
Yeah.
They're desperate. They're poor. Whatever it is, I can't imagine. It's got to be horrible.
Or just living by yourself too.
Yeah.
If you're just living by yourself, you can like FaceTime your friends and all of this.
No.
But to what point? Like,
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, there's gonna be lots of time where you're by yourself.
Yeah. There's got to be a lot of that. This has got to be just tough for people. And it's the whole thing of we don't know when it's going to end. People never knew how long it was going to last to begin with. It's easy to like go and be like, okay, it's going to be a week or two. And then it's like, oh, it's going to be 3 weeks. Oh, it's going to be 5 weeks. Oh, it's going to be 2 months. At what point are people just going to say, fuck this, we're going outside? Yeah. And it's already happening. People are protesting in different cities. And
I've seen so many more cars driving around.
Yeah.
And they're in Soho.
And they're talking about loosening things up. And I think that's probably a mistake because it's just going to make this whole thing prolonged. But also, I'm torn because keeping everything shut down just to keep the weak from getting infected is going to cause so much more damage to people in other ways.
Yeah.
Like the abuse, like the poverty, like the whole economy being screwed to where people are jobless for 5 years, whatever it is.
So I'm watching the show Hunters, and it's on Amazon Prime. It's about Jewish people hunting Nazis and stuff. And one of the Nazis was in a plane, and he was talking about how like the kid next to him was like allergic to peanuts. And the mom was like, oh no, we can't have peanuts, blah, blah, blah. He's allergic. And the kid was like being a little brat. So the Nazi was like, oh, I'll have some peanuts. And he takes the peanuts and he was just like, this one little thing
can kill you.
Like back in the day,
you
like
deserve
Darwin's whole thing
Survival
or whatever.
Of the fittest.
Yeah. And he was like, this is the cure for you. You should eat this peanut or whatever. And like that's
to kill him?
Yeah.
Just to
they
get
were
him to
saying it to like the mom, like to the kid and stuff like that. Like,
no offense to anybody with a peanut allergy out here. However,
but that's how it was.
You would not have survived
any allergies
a long time ago.
Immune disorders, obesity, what's it called? Diabetes, like all of these things would not be a thing. But now, and he was saying this too, like now we have a medication for anything and everything to prolong, and we just have this weak system growing through us. This is, him saying this or whatever.
But this is legit a problem with our healthcare system and with our society because we have a lot of obese, unhealthy, horrible diets, horrible situations. And they're the ones who are most at risk for dying.
I feel like I shouldn't have like said it was like a Nazi thing because
I know you're making it sound like you're like a eugenicist. Like we must murder the weak,
eradicate.
But
no,
I honestly think it's kind of ironic that it's
this
like all these.
Plague is like doing like plague.
Well,
yeah.
I think it's better that they kill off all the unhealthy fat people than kill off the healthy people who care about their health and have been protecting their immune system.
I have a wheat intolerance,
but well, Erin, you deserve. If you die from your wheat allergy, you deserve to die. All right, that's what I think. I know I'm heartless, but also some people protect their immune systems, and some people don't give a shit, and then they cry when they get an illness that you could get over, but you've lived 30 years of a horrible lifestyle, and then you're shocked that, oh, poor me, my body can't fight this off. Well, guess what? You should have thought about that like everybody else. That's a bad note to take a commercial break on. I know it's a little heartless, but I would like to flesh that out a little more when we come back and probably just insult people more. So we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to be back in 1 second.
All right. Wait.
We heard that, Erin. Erin's burping up a storm over here. Wait, there is no waiting. It's recording. Welcome back to the commercial break. I needed you to burp to lighten the mood from me fat shaming everybody and disease shaming. But we talked before. This is funny because this is bringing up themes we've talked about already on the podcast. We talked about, there was something we were talking about earlier where I was like, we talked about that in an episode. It was like kids or relationships where we spend a lot of time together because there was an episode where we were fighting or we talked about a fight that we had. And I was explaining how we spend so much time together and most people have jobs they can go to and their relationships are still way worse than ours. Like that's a good sign that we're like good because our fights aren't even that bad. That was something we talked about before. And now it's really like coming up because I think a lot of relationships are going through that.
Yeah.
But we also talked about the healthcare system and how it's a lot of unhealthy people who are taxing the system and creating the system in which healthcare is so expensive because we're subsidizing people's unhealthy lifestyles. And what do you know? A global pandemic comes around and it's targeting those people with terrible lifestyles, which I'm of the opinion is not so bad. You know?
Oh, man.
You know? What are you going to do? Stop smoking cigarettes? Stop eating shitty food all the time. Stop getting 300 plus pounds and telling everybody you're beautiful. And maybe you won't die from coronavirus.
Yeah.
I say this as like, I don't even know. Watch me get coronavirus and die.
Because too, I was reading some posts on Reddit and they were talking about one of the girls. She was like, I'm healthy. I'm young. Like there are all these, she checks all the, check boxes, tick marks or whatever for not getting corona or
not the symptoms anyways.
Yeah. Or like just, just being very healthy and stuff. And it hit her so hard and she got so sick and she had to go into the hospital and all these things. They didn't think she was going to make it. But
she had no underlying health issues?
No.
I heard a similar story. I was listening to Rogan's podcast and he was talking about one of his good friends who's super healthy and in shape and very, very fit.
Yeah.
And he almost died too. And he thought he was going to die and he was on a ventilator.
Yeah.
So it is. And that's what makes this whole disease scary.
It's so scary.
Is that it's so hit or miss. You don't know.
I know.
We don't know enough about it and it's morphing and it's changing and it might come back harder in a few months. We have no clue. It's just like the flu has never been solved. You know, it's still out there. And because you don't really know, like you're okay, it might come and just decimate you and I get it and I might be fine or vice versa. And it's like that's one of the strange things about it.
SARS and swine flu and all of that.
They're around, but they're contained.
And they're not as bad. They weren't as bad when this hit.
I'm not totally fluent on all this, but I think the way those work is they're just not as contagious.
Okay.
But their death rate might be higher, but it's a matter of how contagious it is plus how much the death rate is.
Because those didn't spread as far. I know in some areas they were really bad. Like I know one of them, or bird flu or something, was very much in Asia.
No.
And that and
the Asian virus.
Yeah. And
China came from China. Why do you call this the Chinese virus? Because it came from China. Okay? China.
Oh
It's not racist at all. No. It came from China. I fucking love Trump, guys. I'm sorry if you guys think Trump is the worst. But dude is funny, man. That is such a funny guy. China. Got to be accurate.
Going from Obama to fucking Trump.
Look, I know.
Obama was so good.
I love Obama. I know.
He
I wish we had Obama right now, obviously.
Like,
I mean,
Trump is.
I like Trump too.
Ridiculous.
Different reasons. He is ridiculous, but come on, that is so funny.
It is. That's
China.
why it's like, what?
I was listening to that when it happened, and I told you, I was like, Erin, you got to listen to this. This is so funny. And literally, it's a meme now.
Yeah.
It's all over TikTok. Everybody is doing the voiceovers for it. It like became a meme. I'm just like, this guy is a walking meme maker. God, I love him. I'm going to miss him when he's gone, honestly. When we have another politician who's like, guys, we're doing everything we can. I just want you to know. And they're just talking in that fake politician bullshit of like, burr, 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 and it's all bullshit. At least Trump is like refreshingly blunt and like, fuck it. Yeah, it comes from China. Yeah. Why do you call it the Chinese virus? Another politician would be like, well, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. That was inappropriate. I didn't, what we mean to say. Trump's just like, because it comes from China. What do you think? Comes from China. I love that, man. I love that. I respect that in a way. But yeah. Who knows? If somebody else was in there, what would be different? We'd still be waiting our stimulus checks. We'd still be quarantined in our house. You just have a nicer words to describe it. Which I guess
Obama was a really good talker.
Agreed. I love Obama, and that's a big reason I voted for him. He was a powerful speaker, and he was very motivating. He gave me great vibes.
Yeah,
I like Obama.
I don't know if I said this before on the podcast, but the reason why I voted for him when I could vote, finally, I'm in college. I'm
dating a liberal Democrat right here.
Yeah.
A libtard who voted for Obama.
And it was like, whether or not I was going to vote for him or not, it was my fucking speech teacher was like, if you do not vote for Obama, you are racist.
Oh my God. That's the beginning. That was 2012.
Like, what?
I bet that was 2012.
That was his second term?
Because you couldn't have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That is when the woke culture started taking off. Was Obama's second going into the election of the second term?
Think for myself in the sense.
Exactly.
But I did like Obama. I liked him in the beginning.
That's the type of shit that turned people off
like a whole
and made people
thing.
move to Trump. Is that type of shit?
Yeah.
That
it was
like
nuts.
You're racist if you don't support my thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we're dealing with today.
And then he was also like, I'm not going to influence your opinion though. I want you guys to think for yourself. But if you don't vote for him, you're racist.
Think for yourself if you want to be a racist.
I know.
Well, I don't want to be well, then you better vote for Obama.
It's like, what?
Oh my God.
Oh
yeah,
my
that's that would literally motivate me to vote for Trump.
Because the day for like voting
it was
his
John
class.
McCain at that time. John McCain or Obama.
No.
Yeah, it was Barack Obama. No, it was that was the first time. It was Mitt Romney, the second term.
Yeah.
It would have motivated me to vote for him too, but I did vote for Obama. So.
No, I did. Yeah. I voted for Obama.
I wasn't a big fan of the Republicans, and I'm still not. But Donald Trump is not a Republican.
I am, in the fact, the only reason why I am like a Republican, though I definitely vote for like whoever I think is better.
You were going to vote for Ted Cruz, Erin.
It's because on paper, I am a Republican.
Ever
and
let you live that down.
Trump
we were
win.
dating for like a few months maybe, and then the election was happening and I was getting on the Trump train, and I wasn't like pressuring you to vote for Trump.
No.
I'm not like that. I don't care who you vote for.
No.
But I was curious what you thought and and you were like, I'm gonna vote for Ted Cruz, and I literally was like, why?
It's because I knew it was going to come down between him and Trump.
Yeah, and if Trump didn't win, do you know if Trump didn't win, Ted Cruz would have been the nominee and he would have beat Hillary Clinton and we would have a president, Ted Cruz. Slimy lizard man Ted Cruz. That's who would be our president. Taking away all women's rights and
I know. That's the thing.
saying Jesus. I know Trump seems like he does that, but he doesn't because he's not a Jesus guy and he doesn't care about women's rights or you taking them away or giving them to him. He doesn't care. He just cares about Trump shit. But Ted Cruz would be like, this is immoral. We got to take away your right to abort.
So I didn't know that. I just knew it was going down between those two, and I didn't want Trump to win. And like, I am Republican on paper, so I was able to vote.
So how do you feel now about Trump?
But as I was going to say, the only reason why I am a Republican on paper, because I am all the social aspects. I am totally this, but then I want to be an independent. And I was talking to my mom about this and stuff, and she was like, if you're an independent on paper, you cannot vote.
In the primaries.
Yes.
But you don't vote in the primaries anyways.
I do.
Did you vote in the primary?
I get the mail-in.
Did you?
I got a mail-in.
The primaries just happened. Did you do it?
I'm a Republican.
Yeah. Did you vote in the Republican? There's other people.
I know. I saw the paper and I was like, who the fuck are these other people?
I don't even know who it is, but
that's why I came to you and I was just like, who are these other people? I don't understand. Why aren't they campaigning? Like, I don't.
Because they aren't going to win.
Like, I'll vote for you if I see who you are, but I don't even, like, am I supposed to do the research?
However,
myself? Obviously,
there is truth to young people do not vote in primaries. That's why Bernie Sanders lost, is because he has all this youth
mail-in votes. Do mail-in votes. You don't have to go to the place. Too late,
you stupid kids. All you dumb kids out there. Yeah, I'm talking to you dumb kids who are like, we need to have a new system and a revolution. It's like, are you going to go vote in the primary for Bernie Sanders? Nah. No.
Mail-in votes. You don't have to go in
they'll
there
vote
wait
for him
long.
if he was going to be president,
Yeah.
but none of them went to vote in the primaries, and Bernie Sanders got squashed by Joe Biden.
I know, that's awful.
Creepy Joe Biden. I love how Donald Trump named him Sleepy Joe Biden, because I think he knows people think creepy Joe Biden.
Yeah.
You know, because he won't call him creepy Joe Biden. Even Donald Trump does have some like he called Hillary like crooked Hillary. He didn't call her like bitch cunt Hillary or something. You know, Donald Trump actually does have a standard. People will be like rolling their eyes. It's so funny. Our country's so divisive that half the people are like, yeah, that's true. And the other half are like, what? Donald Trump is the worst ever. And this is like the world we live in now. And it's like, no, I mean, he's not the best ever, but he's not the worst ever either. But his nicknames are pretty funny. But yeah, Joe Biden is going to be the nominee. Joe Biden against Donald Trump. This is going to be, but in a way, like I've been saying for months that Donald Trump was going to win unless the economy tanked, which it did, even though it wasn't his fault. It did. It doesn't matter. That's the way people work.
It's not going to matter. No, because people want the economy to come back.
Well,
and who's going to bring the economy back?
I agree.
In the sense of like Trump made it better. So
however, I also said like Joe Biden will never beat Trump because of the debates.
Yeah.
However, now because of coronavirus, they're not going to have a live studio audience in the debates. Yeah. They're going to have the debates, so they're not going. Donald Trump isn't going to be able to do his thing where he gets the crowd laughing and roaring, and that's how Trump won in 2016. Now it's going to be two old guys talking with no laughs, silent. Exactly. If they even do that,
that's creepy.
I think Joe Biden's campaign knows. We can't let him debate Trump. Trump is going to destroy Joe Biden in a debate. Like anybody who disagrees with that, you're just a freaking idiot. Okay, there's no possible way Joe Biden looks better than Trump in a head-to-head debate.
For sure.
So Joe Biden is going to look for a way. Mark my words. Joe Biden's campaign is going to look for a way to weasel out of the debate, and they're going to use the coronavirus. They're going to say, "Oh, we want but it might be too risky. We need to get rid of the audience." Yeah. That's the first thing they're going to do is get rid of the audience.
Are they the same age?
I think similar age.
Joe's a little older.
Joe might be a little older, but Donald Trump's old.
No, I know.
But Donald Trump is with it.
Yeah.
He's fucking
and he has a nice tan, so I can't see his like pale
nice tan, a spray tan.
But like you can't see his like pale old skin.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it does work. Well, Joe Biden.
It's very orange,
Joe Biden has like dentures, so he looks like a clean teeth old man. And they came out in one of the debates. They literally came out, and he had his eye was like bleeding because he had some. Dude,
what are you talking about?
I'll pull it up. I swear to God. And I was like, this guy just looks like a dying skeleton man. I don't know if I forget if it was the same debate. Literally, there was a time where his dentures. I think it was the same debate, but not like.
Same time.
I don't know.
Eye bleeding.
My point is, people remember this stuff, and Joe Biden looks like a falling apart old man, where Trump is an old man, but Trump is smart and witty and quick, even though not all, I know it's a lot of probably speed that he does or Adderall or something, but whatever. It works. And the spray tan really makes him seem younger, and he's with it.
No, he's orange,
yeah.
But it's also better than being like a pale old man.
Yeah.
Like sickly old man.
I cannot believe, man, they put Joe Biden as the nominee.
Yeah. But anyways, going back to why I'm a
no
Republican.
More politics. Oh, this is politics.
Why I'm a Republican is for the fact of that what I work for, I do not believe that I should have to give my money to people who do not work.
That's a fiscal conservative policy.
Yeah, if you have 5 kids and you cannot afford five kids, and you could not afford one, you should stop having kids.
You sound like a Bible thumping redneck Christian, hates the poor people, wants everybody to die type person. That's what you sound like.
Not.
No, I know. That's how people think. It's like, oh, you hate people, and it's like, no. I just also think.
Live within your means.
Yeah. You don't have to have 5 kids. You don't have to get 400 pounds. You chose to do that. Yeah. Deal with your own consequences.
And it's because the government keeps giving them money the more kids that they have.
Yeah.
It's like there should be a 1-kid policy for money.
And here's another example. If we're talking about the government, because I'm trying to teach you all this stuff, not teach you, but like tell you my perspectives. No, for sure. And a lot of the things
Teach me. That's funny.
Well, I think you're naive about a lot of things.
I know.
I think you are.
I like to think that the world is a
But also, you're just younger. You haven't been in a lot of politics, and you get more into politics the older you get because you understand life and you see these trends happen. It's just a normal thing. I just was in it longer and before you. That's all. But when we're talking about like universal healthcare, which we talked about on another episode of the podcast, go check it out. Yeah, it's a great idea in a perfect utopia. Have universal healthcare. The government pays for the healthcare. Everything's going to run efficient. They try to cut us our IRS checks. Did you get your check?
I know.
Did I even get qualified? Who knows? Yeah. These are the people that are going to run the healthcare system.
I know.
They're inefficient. They're incompetent. The whole system. Go to the DMV. You think that's an efficient process? No. When we got our passport, I got my passport so we could travel on the cruise back in September. I go and I finally go and I get my passport. You've been trying to get me to do it forever. I go and I do all the paperwork. I pay the money. I give them all the paperwork. They say everything's good. We go to the passport office. Everything's good. Here you go. It's going to come in 6 weeks. First off, 6 weeks to just process some, like, what are you doing for 6 weeks? You should just have an online thing where I can type in my shit and give me my fucking passport. Like, what we live in 2020, first of all. Imagine a business doing that. Hey, you got to sign up for our membership, fill out all this paperwork, show 97 forms of ID, and wait 6 weeks. And it's going to be $200.
Oh my God.
What are we talking about? First off,
I know.
Then I send in my passport. I send everything. We waited 6 weeks and we did this enough time so I could get on the cruise. Before we waited like 8 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
And the paper comes back. We get it in the mail and I'm thinking, oh, here comes my passport. And it's a letter saying, I'm sorry, we cannot verify that you're an actual citizen. Please send us 10 more proofs of ID.
God damn.
Swear to God. Like, I mean, not 10, but it was like, dude, they're asking me to like find shit that I don't even have anymore. Like find your address from 5 years ago and proof of residence. It's like, who has that?
Yeah.
I've moved 10 times in the last 10 years.
So
like, nuts. I don't fucking know. I don't even know my address or my zip code half the time. I don't fucking know. And I'm like, I am a fucking citizen my whole life. It should not be this hard to verify. I gave you my ID. I gave you everything. Like, just check.
Yeah.
So I'm pissed. I'm like, this is fucking nonsense. I already stress out over this government bullshit all the time. Taxes is a pain in the ass. Going to the DMV is a pain in the everything the government does is a stressful pain in the ass. And you know something's going to go wrong. And what happened? It went wrong. And we're getting on a cruise in like 2 weeks. And I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to send this shit back to them. I already sent them my real birth certificate.
Yeah.
Now, how do I send them another birth certificate? So we had to order a new birth certificate from which I had to track down from Ohio just so I could possibly send it to them because they had my old. But then we ended up just getting on the cruise with the birth certificate. Yes. That's what I found out. So I was like, fuck the passport. I'm not doing this shit. Let's just use the birth certificate. We go on the cruise. I get the birth certificate. Everything's fine on the cruise. We come back. I was like, I don't give a fuck about that passport. I'm not jumping through these hoops. Just whatever. Forget the passport. I'll stay in America.
I have my birth certificate again.
I'm good. If we need to go somewhere, I'll show that. If not, I'm staying in America. I don't care. And what happens? We get a letter like months after. I never sent them any proof. I already got a letter that said, we cannot give you a passport. You need to prove your citizenship, all this. It was like 2 more months passed. And I get a letter from the immigration office. My passport's in it.
Yeah.
And it's a letter saying, here's your passport. I never sent them any of the shit that they made me send them. And they just decided, fuck it. Here you go. Here's your passport.
Yeah.
That's the government right there. So inefficient. So.
It's my number 2.
You're totally throwing me off
I know.
here.
I'm so sorry.
What? I'm ranting really loud.
I know, and it's loud in my ear.
Well, you want your headphones turned down? Okay. How's that? Erin, is this
so much better?
Look.
Well, now it's like nothing.
Okay. Well, that's how it goes. I had it at the perfect level.
So sorry.
Just know that you threw me off of my rant and we have 2 minutes left of this podcast.
I know.
My point is that is the government systems right there. Think of the post office, think of the DMV, think of the immigration office. And these are the people you want to run our healthcare system. I am 100% in agreement that every human in America should have access to healthcare. I'm in agreement with you. I think it should be a human right. But when you start telling me the government is just going to magically make this happen, bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Until you show me how we're going to do this, I'm going to fight against that because it's just not realistic.
Yeah.
It's nonsense, man. The government is so corrupt, not corrupt. I mean, they are corrupt, but they're just so inefficient, just incompetent on everything that they do, except for the military, pretty much.
That's why I'm going to work for them. But actually,
Well,
it's the VA, and the VA is very efficient.
Well, no, the VA is a perfect example of the government-run healthcare. It's horrible. The VA is a train wreck. Go ask any veteran how they think about the VA.
They don't go.
No, you know what they do?
Not go.
You know what they do? They kill themselves in the parking lot. That's a real thing. You were talking about that.
Yeah.
They literally go to the VA. They get turned down for something while they have post-traumatic stress or bipolar or some horrible pain from getting blown up with an IED in Iraq 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And then they're like, fuck it. And they just kill themselves in the parking lot. That's like a real thing that happens.
I know.
That's the government healthcare right there.
Yeah.
The government doesn't provide healthcare. They can pay for the healthcare with our money, but they still have to pay the healthcare system. And the healthcare system is going to just be, the whole thing is just a mess. The whole thing is so crazy. How did we get on that subject about the government bureaucracy and the immigration? There was like a reason we got onto that subject. I guess it doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to bring it back in time because we're at 21 minutes. But you got me ranting now about the U.S. government.
No, I know. I feel like we should keep it going. This is our quarantine podcast. It's an exclusive.
Fine. We will do an exclusive one more segment of 20 minutes. Okay. Well, on that note, we will do this is a first ever live on Quality Time with Nick and Erin, just so Erin doesn't have to hear me end the podcast on a fuck the government.
Yeah.
Down with America, even though I love America. I'm so torn. I'm such an American patriot. I love America. But I also am like,
don't get in my shit.
The government sucks. And that's what a Republican is a lot of times, is like, keep the government out of my bullshit. But when it comes down to it, I'm very liberal. Yes. I'm like pro-choice, pro-gay rights, pro-whatever. I'll make jokes and do whatever. I know people get a misinterpreted idea of me from my content.
Yeah.
But I'm very open-minded.
That's
Go and do whatever.
That's why I'm technically an independent, but then on the paper, if I have to vote, it's going to be Republican because I know that is the more crazy-ish one. I want to pick the lesser of two evils.
I think the opposite. What, you think the left, the Democrats are crazy or the Republicans are crazy?
No, because I think the Republicans are kind of crazy for the fact of they could take away women's rights and all of these social things that I care so much about. They could try.
They can nominate a Supreme Court justice who can't, which they did.
They could do
but that's a much slower moving thing.
But but I'm on the other side of I want it, where it's I don't have to pay for anybody. Yeah. That's why I
what this is
Republicans.
called? This is called you are a fiscal conservative, but a social liberal.
Yeah.
You believe in equality.
That's a lot of words.
I know, but these are real things, and I'm similar. It's people ask me, "What party are you?" I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I voted Democrat most of my life, and I voted for Donald Trump. That's the only Republican I ever voted for.
Yeah.
But I'm socially liberal on everything.
For sure.
For legalized drugs.
Yeah.
Pro-choice, equality for everybody, equal rights for everybody. But I'm fiscally conservative, which means when it comes to taxes and money situation, let me keep my business, no regulations, as little as possible. Keep out. Let me do what I want with my own money and don't tax me.
Yeah.
And foreign policy issues, I do believe in a strong army, military, and a foreign policy presence. I'm not one of these we should all love and oh fuck, we lost the thing. Hold up.
Oh no.
Hey guys, and we're still here even though the video cut out. If you see the video cut out, I'll see where it cut out when I edit this. And now I just created more work for myself. This right here was an example of number one, why we don't run 3 clips, because look, I just messed it up. And why I hate this whole there's so much work I have to do to put all this together, and then there's some blank spot because the camera cut out because of the battery.
See if my camera will work.
I mean, there's solutions, but everything has a pro and a con to it. There's reasons for everything. It's I need a setup that's totally going to work. You don't have battery. I need tons of batteries. I need a constant power source. It still probably has a 20-minute recording limit.
No, it doesn't.
I think it does.
I recorded for way longer.
No, I doubt it.
Maybe not.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But I doubt it because most cameras do have a recording limit.
So...
Anyways, I was ranting heavily about healthcare. The clip cut out. Who knows? My point is, I think we were talking about fiscal conservative versus whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's how a lot of people are. And that's how I am too. I'm but because of the political correctness thing and how far the far left has gone in calling every white man a racist, bigot, homophobe, all these fucking things, if you make jokes or if you say whatever, that's what pushed me to Donald Trump more than anything. It's like, screw this, man. I'm going to get the guy who just says crazy things because that's where I stand on those issues.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to what do you think about policies, legalize drugs, everybody can get married, equal rights for everybody. No, you know, I'm totally on that side.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pay a shit ton in taxes. I don't want free college for everybody. I want healthcare for everybody. No free college.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I disagree vehemently with college as an institution. I don't even think people should go to college, let alone pay for college. So no, absolutely not. But healthcare, sure. It's just then it's an issue of the Republicans are like, no, we shouldn't have healthcare and you should pay for your own. And the liberals are like, everybody deserves healthcare. The government should pay for it and provide for it. And it's like, that's not the real world. The government can't make healthcare happen. They can only pay for it. And they're going to have this bullshit system like the VA, like the passport office, like the DMV.
Is it because we have so many people? Is that why a healthcare system that we pay or that the government pays for won't work? Because in other countries they have it, but they have so many few people.
Yeah, is
that why?
There's many issues. America is very big and very not just diverse, but spread out.
Yeah.
Most countries are very
and I feel like
small
we have a lot
countries.
more diseases in the sense of like obesity.
That's
and
what I'm
type
saying.
Of things
There's many issues, and these are all issues.
Yeah.
America is so big. People don't understand how big America is compared to other countries.
Yeah.
Other countries are very consolidated in very small areas where you can have a federal system or a government-run system much more efficiently. In America, you have to do it on a city, county, local, state by state basis. What if some person in the middle, we've driven through Texas.
Yeah.
Imagine how somebody in a small town in Texas, you know, it took 16 hours just to drive across Texas. Nonstop.
Yeah.
That's insanely big.
It is.
Okay. You're in Texas, you're in the middle of a small town. Okay. The government gives you free healthcare, but you have to drive to Austin from El Paso.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? That's where the office is. You got to put up offices everywhere. It's 10 hours. And that's what I'm saying. That's just Texas. You would have billions of dollars just to have health services in Texas, let alone every other state, in the mountains, in the deserts. You can't have a federal system. I mean, maybe you, I don't know that you couldn't, but I'm just saying it's much more complex than when you're talking about Sweden, where Sweden is a small country that's smaller than the state of California. And most people live in a few cities, right? And it's just much more efficient. So that's one issue. And then you have the health of people's diets. And we have a horrible health of our country. Our people, you people are obese, you smoke, you drink. And I'm not judging. I do those things too. But understand that you are in control of your own body and your own health and your own immune system. And if you ruin your body, it's not up to us to pay for you. Fuck you fat ass. Get up, stop drinking sugar every day, stop eating McDonald's every day, eat a salad, drink some water, get some sleep, and do some fucking exercise.
Yeah.
You owe it to yourself. Don't put it on me. And so our healthcare system is so inflated with people who don't pay taxes or are undocumented, and they use our healthcare system so that we incur that cost. And that's fine. People need health, whatever, but that boosts the cost. Then you have all of the young people who do pay for insurance. That insurance money goes to older and unhealthy people. So when we were talking earlier about how you just got healthcare, which, have you gone to the doctor? Have you gone to the hospital? Have you done anything major?
No, but I went to the doctor.
Well, that's good.
And then I was starting to go and get my blood work and this and that, but then pandemic started and then everything got pushed off.
But
so now I'm paying for healthcare.
We did talk
and I'm
about
not
this.
using it.
We talked about this in a previous episode where I got healthcare
Yeah.
And it was $400 a month for basic healthcare.
Yeah.
I still couldn't afford the copays.
Yeah.
I still couldn't afford to go and find a primary care doctor. Like there was so many other hoops I had to jump through. And I'm a healthy, in shape, aware guy. I diet. I live a healthy lifestyle. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do all these, right? And I still can't afford healthcare. And where is that money going? That money is going to the insurance companies that are using that money to pay for the 400-pound person who has never exercised a day in their life and just smokes cigarettes all day and drinks alcohol or drinks soda, whatever it is. And that's the way it goes. And they have to take care of you when you come in and you're dying. They take care of you, but they don't do it for free.
Yeah.
They pass the bill on to the government, and the government doesn't have money. The government only takes our money and says, oh, well, we got to pay them. Hey, you got to pay taxes, and it comes from you and it comes from me. And then we pay healthcare and we can't even use it, and we don't even need it because we're healthy. And that's the system. So it's this, there's many factors that cause exactly. But I'm in agreement with the utopia idea that healthcare, absolutely, people should not have to think that they're going to go bankrupt if they break their arm or if they get sick.
Yeah.
Of course not. We should absolutely protect the health of our people. But if you don't protect your own health, I have no sympathy for you.
So if you are doing it based on these like unhealthy ways, you should have to pay then
That's
for
exactly
your unhealthiness.
That's exactly where I stand.
That's how we could make it a thing.
Yes, but that's not even a debate.
If you break your arm and that's a mistake or like an accident.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
No. But what I would say is let's build this up. There's two debates where it's one or the other. It's the government should not pay for healthcare at all. It's not a human right. People should buy their own healthcare and it's more efficient and it's free market. That's the Republican side. And then you have the liberal side, which is healthcare is a human right and the government should provide everything. Those are both extremes.
Yeah.
What we should have is, yes, people should have access to healthcare. A lot of people get sick not because of their choice, but because you just get sick and you should be able to go to the hospital and not be afraid of dying. However, if you
build your own healthcare plan, I kind of think that's a good thing.
What?
Where you build your own healthcare, where like I want to, in case I have any injuries, where it's an accidental injury, that is covered.
There's talks about that, like a car insurance type thing.
Yeah, where it's like I just have a yearly checkup.
I think
like
there are some discussions of that.
Yeah.
Or I think that might even be part of
That'd
Obamacare.
be dope.
Or some
and then
of these
like
plans.
maybe I want it to save kind of for in case cancer, but
Sure.
they base it upon that. I like the car service.
But that's also not realistic because nobody plans to get cancer.
No.
Nobody.
But like
and you're not going to do that.
I would. I'd have a little bit of cancer.
Yeah,
safe.
but
The older I
okay,
get,
and then
I'd
you
have
fall
more.
and you break your toe and you're like, oh, I only got wrist breaking insurance.
No,
but not
it'd be
toe
all
breaking.
accidental.
Yeah, if they
It'd be all
who knows? These are all
injury.
hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Okay, but there was a point I was making though. It was that these people are super extreme on both sides.
Yeah.
And then you have somebody who goes to the hospital and says, healthcare is a human right. You have to fix me. Okay, the government's paying for it, which means the taxpayers are paying for it, you and me. But they get diabetes. That's why they're in the hospital, because of diabetes or heart failure or something like that. And it's clear that it's from 30 years of being obese and never exercising and smoking. You got lung cancer because you smoked cigarettes for 20 years. We have to pay for that? Or should you be like, okay, well, you can come, you get healthcare up, but you actually have to pay for this. Or you have to pay way more in taxes because, there has to be some type of cost benefit to you to where there's a tax on your shitty lifestyle.
I agree.
Right? If you just drink every day and you're unhealthy and you can't even run a mile and your lungs are shit and you drink sugar and you become 400 pounds, why are you paying the same amount that I'm paying?
But also fuck running a mile. But I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're saying.
You can run a mile if you really wanted to.
If I needed to.
Yeah. Do you think Lizzo could do that?
Yeah, no.
No.
So that is more.
Sorry, Lizzo. I know you pretend to dance around on stage for 30 minutes, but you can't run a mile, sis.
Yeah.
I'll challenge you right now, and you can't run a mile either, but I guarantee you could run more.
Yeah, I could not. I can't run a mile.
That's my point. Is there needs to be that kind of a discussion of your health is your responsibility. There are things that are outside your control, but when we're talking about the biggest cause of death in the US is diabetes, which is completely because of your diet, your lack of exercise, and your shitty life habits. Why are we incurring that cost? Yeah, type 1 diabetes is one thing. I'm talking about diabetes that's killing everybody is type 2 diabetes or heart failure or lung cancer or whatever it is. These things are completely in your control, to not completely, but largely. If I'm going to use the pun for Lizzo, largely in your control. And there's nobody discussing there's people in media circles or who give political opinions, but there's nobody in the mainstream political, in the Senate or in the House of Republicans. It's one or the other. It's healthcare is a human right, pay for everything, let the government do everything, even though it's us paying for it and the government's going to be super inefficient and it's going to be a mess. Or you have the other side saying, nope, it's not a human right. Nobody should pay for it. And people are dying in the streets because they got a cold that could have been taken care of. It's like both sides are wrong. There's a middle ground, but nobody's really talking about that middle ground.
That's the independent ground.
Yeah, but the independents don't have any power in real voting of the Senate or the House of Representatives. So we can vote the president in or out, but the president doesn't make these decisions. The president can sign a bill or veto a bill, but it's the Congress that does it. And they're not ever going to work together. It's just a mess. And that was the thing. Everybody wanted Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders was going to get in there and make everything free. And it's like, no, he's not. Bernie Sanders is going to pretend like he's going to make everything free. He's going to become the president. He's going to talk a lot of talk of, we should make healthcare a human right. Everybody deserves healthcare. That's my Bernie Sanders. It's pretty good.
It is.
I don't know. And the Senate is going to go, no, we're not going to do that. No. What are you going to do? You can't make. You think Nancy Pelosi, even Nancy Pelosi is a Democrat, and she hates Bernie Sanders. She's not going to do that shit. Or the Republicans are going to fight it, or Donald Trump's going to veto it. I mean, Bernie Sanders would be the president, but it would never get to his desk. It's never going to get to his desk. You would need to have a super majority in Congress to be able to get that bill through to where it even gets to his desk to veto or to sign. It's never going to happen. It's just not. That's not the way Congress works. They fight all the time. And because the Republicans are all on one side, they're going to veto. They're going to go against anything the Democrats do, and vice versa. And it becomes Obamacare, which Obamacare was this total compromise system of like, we wanted to push healthcare through, but we couldn't get Republicans on board because they fought everything. So we compromised on everything to make this system where like, okay, it's not free healthcare for everybody, but we're going to force you to pay for healthcare for yourself. And if not, we're going to tax you a bunch with this personal mandate thing. That's what Obamacare basically was. And there was a few good things that came out of it because it insured pre-existing conditions in the healthcare healthcare industry couldn't have just kicked you off. Well, they had to because it was a law.
Well, they do it now too.
Yeah, because
Obamacare isn't a thing.
Because Donald Trump repealed everything but left that. Another good thing Donald Trump did that nobody gives credit for. He repealed Obamacare. Yeah, the shitty parts, and he actually kept the good parts.
Yeah.
So are you going to give him some credit? No, of course not. But he took away the personal mandate, which was, the only reason I started paying health insurance was I was like, I'm going to get taxed out the ass if I don't. I might as well at least get it so I could go to the doctor. But the only plan I could get was $400 something a month or $400 a month.
Yeah.
That's insane for somebody who doesn't even go to the doctor. So I still never went to the doctor the whole time I had healthcare. And then as soon as they repealed it, I was like, I'm canceling this shit, you know? And if I didn't pay for it, they were going to tax me through taxes or through the IRS.
So the whole time Obamacare was going on, I was on my mom's insurance still. Then I finally got off of it. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to apply for healthcare. But I actually applied for assistance.
Yeah, a lot of people got fucked with that.
Yeah.
Where then you had to pay it back. I had friends who were below the poverty level.
Yeah.
And they would get assistance and they would be like, oh, I got healthcare for $60 a month.
Yeah.
And then
it was like $55 I could have gotten.
Yeah. But April rolls around and then you file your taxes and it says, oh, you actually owe us $300 for that. So you have to pay us now.
Oh, so they take it out of your tax return?
Because you get a return. Most people pay taxes. They don't get a return.
No, I pay taxes.
Yeah, you would have to owe money. So these people would be left with a bill of like, oh, I owe $1,000 in taxes because of my healthcare subsidy that I thought I was getting for free because people don't know.
Well, the people who actually pay taxes, they would not have to pay anything. They would just get their whole tax return.
Poor people who don't pay tax, is that what you're talking about? Like people who are below poverty?
I mean, yeah, you don't pay taxes, meaning like you get a W-2.
But you are paying taxes.
Yes.
People don't realize, they're like, I got a tax return. I got money from the government. No, that was your money that you paid and you just got it back.
Yes.
You were paying taxes and you still paid more. You just got some of it back.
So that's what I'm meaning is like the people who are actually paying their taxes while they're working.
Yeah, they still owed a lot because they
didn't know that.
Exactly.
Okay.
They should have, but that's the point is most people are not informed about these issues. Most people don't even know what taxes are.
Yeah.
You have a W-2. Most W-2 workers literally are like, don't even know money's getting taken out, don't know how much money, and then you get a tax return. You're like, oh, this is free money. No, it's not. You paid that all year round. You didn't even have to pay that. You could have paid nothing, and you could have kept that money all year, but instead you paid it to the government for them to give it back. Yeah. And they were making money on that money the whole time, of course. You could have invested that the whole time. People are stupid when it comes to these things. They don't understand what taxes really mean because you're just a W-2 worker. Open a business and figure out taxes, and you're going to see what you're really paying.
Fuck.
And it's even crazier if you have employees.
Yeah.
That's why all this talk about like, oh, corporations are corrupt and Amazon and Walmart and all this. And they're not the best examples because obviously they're huge corporations and they can't afford to pay their people better.
Yeah.
But you're talking about like a small business or some retail shop that's on has small, thin margins. And you want to hire a new person. You have to fulfill all these regulations. You have to double their social security payments. You have to pay all these taxes into the system just to be able to hire somebody else. And they're over here like, you should pay me more, blah, blah, blah. It's like, why don't you go start a business and figure out how to pay everybody's taxes for them and still put food on your table and understand all of that and then complain about, you should be paying your fair share of taxes.
Yeah.
It's like, you pay nothing in taxes.
That's crazy because like the last job that I worked, I was a 1099 or one of the last jobs that I worked.
Yeah, that's where they fuck you too.
1099, did not know I was a 1099 or like didn't understand what that meant really.
It means you better be putting some money aside.
Yeah, did not know that. Owed $3,000 at the end of the year. It was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But I was getting paid. So then once I realized that, and I talked to my tax guy about it, he was telling me that I should be saving like 20% of my money, basically whatever. So when I calculated that out, I was getting paid less than minimum wage because I had to save for my own taxes and because I was helping him out. And I literally was like running that store. I did everything.
That's how it happens.
Everything. And so I asked him then for a raise and I
got fired.
Yeah, kind of basically. It was like I did a whole like thing about how much I need to be saving and how much I'd be saving and this or that. And for me to be over minimum wage, it's been 3 years since I've gotten a raise because I never got a raise the entire time I was working there and yada, yada. And we did that for like a few weeks. And then he came back to me and he was just like, I can't be paying you this much. And then I was like, and then I was like, all right, I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's good. That was a good choice. Which from your perspective sucks because you're like, how dare you?
Yeah.
But also understand his perspective. He's like,
no, now that I'm like, yeah,
I can't pay that. What do you do? I know he probably could. A lot of people are this way. There's bad examples. There's good examples. However, a lot of people don't understand.
Also I like I did your books.
Sure. Well, that was your mistake. Like he's just getting the value that he could get out of you. If you were smart enough, you shouldn't have done that, but you didn't know these things at the time. And a lot of workers are that way. They don't know the difference between.
I made his stuff good.
No,
I was like really good for him and like he could afford me.
You were a solid worker and he should have valued you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But that's also if you look at it the other way, there's a lot of people who are fighting for, higher pay. And they don't realize that a lot of these regulations that get pushed through on small businesses just incentivize the small business not to make you an employee, but to make you a 1099 because they're like.
Just when you were saying all of that, I was like, oh shit.
Do you know how much money he would have to pay to make you an actual employee?
Yeah.
He has to pay your healthcare. He has to double your social. He has to pay Social Security for you. He has to match it. Like there's a lot of overhead to make it. And then you have regulations of HR departments. You have regulations of work laws.
Sort of like a tiny store. It was just me and him working.
Whereas a 1099 is simple from an employer sense. It's like, okay, I'll just pay you as a contractor. You're free to go whenever, and I don't have to pay your taxes, and it's on you.
Yeah.
That's what most businesses end up doing because people work off incentives. When the government makes all these laws of you have to pay all your workers a living wage of $15 an hour. You know what McDonald's is going to do? Okay, we're going to fire all our workers and we're going to get robots.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's called business. It's just human nature and incentives. And people don't think 10 steps ahead. They think one step. I'm a minimum wage worker. I want to make $15 an hour instead of $7. You're not going to make $7 or $8 an hour, whatever it is. You're going to make $0 because they're just going to lay you off is what they're going to do. Businesses have to succeed and they have to make profit. They can't just work on charity. Oh, well, you worked 10 hours today. I guess you deserve $500. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's a supply and demand. If they can get 100 other people who will do it for less, then you're not worth anything. You're worth what the least amount that somebody will accept. That's what you're worth. That's how the market works.
So crazy.
So there's this whole debate about, dude, we're going to get cut off again. Damn it. All right, we said we were going to go one more. We went one more. So guys, I could rant about this forever, but also it's funny that we did a whole nother clip to like end on a different note and we still just ranted about politics and healthcare and taxes. I didn't know it was going to go this way. But guys, we are going to wrap this up because I'm going to have to edit all this and it's a pain in the ass. So on that note, everybody subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow me on TikTok at Nick Foster Jokes. Follow Erin on Instagram.
Maybe.
At Erinatius or at Namaste Erin?
Both.
Well,
Erinatius_21 or Namaste Erin 18.
Awesome. Subscribe to the podcast too. Hit like on the YouTube video and leave a comment if you want to. And we promise we're going to be back. We're going to film every Sunday.
Yeah, leave a comment about what we should talk about next too.
Yeah, give us some topics.
Any questions or topics. Yeah.
And we will try to hit them.
Cool.
But obviously how these go, we never hit them.
I mean, we may hit one or two.
We never even talked about the swing set still.
I mean, that's fine.
All right, we'll talk about that next week. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. I promise next time. Well, I don't promise anything. Who knows what we'll talk about? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching and subscribe.
See you.
Until next time, enjoy your quarantine. Bye.